listen, Chaser, tons of progress. Yo dude, before we get started with today's episode, we just want to say thank you to a couple of the big channel partners. Obviously, one of them is myself and my wife, Hannah, which is Holdfast. If you guys want to support us directly, head over to holdfast-usa.com, pick up a steering wheel, pick up some bumper pins, pick up a t-shirt. Helps us out a lot and we appreciate your support. Another major partner of the channel is FDF Race Shop. They make angle kits for all kinds of cars, along with rear arms and camber arms and tow arms and all kinds of stuff. Seat brackets, handbrakes, they do almost everything in any chassis that you're drifting. They probably make parts for it. So make sure you head over to fdfraceshop.com and check out what they got. On top of everything that they do, they also do custom colorways. I did a teal on the E36. One more partner on the channel is GT Radial. They supply us with all of our rubber needs, from the tow rig all the way down to the drift car and the trailer. Everything is covered with GT Radial. They've been a big support for us. As you know, they're hyper dedicated to drifting. They are taking Formula Drift by storm. So if you're in need for tires or things like that, or you really want to feel what a good tire feels like, head over to GT Radial and get yourself some Champero SX2 RSs, 255s. They're pretty freaking nasty. And last but not least, Motegi Racing, making some of the sickest designs, original designs, and even buying the rights to the MB Battle. That's pretty sick. So listen, Motegi does all kinds of stuff: monoblocks, two-piece wheels, custom powder coats, polish, all kinds of goodies. With sick style and affordable prices, Motegi's easily just the answer for you. The ads are done. We're done plugging everybody. Back to the video. I hope you guys enjoy it. And don't forget, leave a like. And if you want to see more of this stuff, subscribe. Don't miss an episode. See ya. Yo dude, listen, the Chaser, tons of progress. Tony and I have been hustling. Tony's been kind of hustling a lot more than I have, but there's been a lot that's changed on the Chaser. I told you when we first got this car that the goal was gonna be to turn it into a ride-along car to give you guys the opportunity to come for rides with me and just share the experience of drifting overall. If you're at any of the NWA events and you went for a ride with me, it's a blast. Now, imagine having that same experience, but with two of your friends as well. So it didn't make a lot of power. We only made 490 wheel horsepower, which the car's only really, I've only driven at 490 wheel. Winter Jam, we took this car out. Texas, we took it out, but we were constantly running it on 16 pounds instead of the 21 pounds or the 20 pounds, because at the 490 wheel horsepower, at the 20 PSI, we were running our injectors at 110% duty cycle, but the issue was actually with the fuel pump. The fuel pump couldn't deliver enough fuel to the engine to make the proper air-fuel ratios. And so we started leaning it out. We were opening the injectors as much as we could, but Josh over at FTA was like, it has this tune in it, don't run it at 21, like if you don't have to. And so we didn't. We really didn't. I think we may have touched it once just to see what it would do, but most of the time it's at 16 pounds. And at 16 pounds, it still made, I think, 300 or 400 and something, like low fours, somewhere in the low mid fours. So it's not bad, but it's not the full potential that the car could be with full boost. And so what we decided was that we need to address the fuel pump issue, because we're going to be throwing all the extra weight. Over in this area was the factory fuel tank. It was big, giant beluga thing of a fuel tank, and it had a Hellcat pump in it, and it was not sufficient enough to give us enough fuel, especially with E85, to allow us to turn the boost up and make more power. What we decided to do was hit our boys up over at Radium. So I got a 14-gallon Radium fuel cell. It's a gangster of a system. There is really no issues with these at all. I told them, hey, we have the same fuel pump system in the Pro car, and they asked me about the maintenance. How has the maintenance been on the fuel tank? And I kind of chuckled, because I was like, I've never touched it. And they're like, wait, you've never like taken it apart to mess with it at all? I was like, nope, worked great. So I stand by Radium. Radium also supports me. I've had 4 years, almost 5 years going on of zero fuel issues, like zero, no problems at all. So when I'm going to jump into a tank and upgrade another car, I'm only gonna use Radium because it's good stuff. The rally car has Radium hanger in it, and now the Chaser is going to have a full-blown Radium fuel cell in it. And Radium also sent over this bracket system for the fuel cell. So now when we want to put the fuel tank in the car, instead of having to jump through all these hoops and build our own cage and do all of our own fabrication to get it done, we simply take their carrier and we take our tank and it drops straight in. Then you throw your brackets, your big Radium straps that go over it, and it's done. So, huge upgrade for the Chaser, which means that now we can upgrade the supply lines, which we went with Phoenix. Phoenix, again, is another one of my partners who we've had for a very long time on our team. About the same amount of time as Radium, because this is when we started needing AN stuff, when we really started leveling up with our fuel supply. So now she'll have a -8 feed line all the way through. Before it was like a -6 to a factory hard line, and factory hard line under the car to another -6 up to the rail. Now it's a true -8 system from the tank to a Phoenix fuel filter, a 60 micron, 100 micron combo filter. That's what the same thing I have on the Pro car. I really just found a recipe that works, and I just keep applying it. And then -8 all the way up to the fuel rail, which eventually I'll bug the boys over at Radium to level up the fuel rail as well, because at some point with this car, I also want to do a 1.5J. I want to go get a 2J bottom and get it all built so we can do that. So now we have proper fueling. That means we can get more power, and we're going to need more power because the back seats are in. Well, Tony did them, but they're not in currently. Just this seat is sitting here. But now we have back seats put in here, and we're gonna need all the power we can get. We already got the BC Racing coilovers that have a stiffer spring rate to compensate for the added weight that we're gonna be putting back here. But a lot of stuff has changed. The last time they saw it, I think we just cut out simple stuff on the floor.
Since then, seat brackets, had to cut out diagonal for space.
This bar here.
Added this bar here because we took out some structure, and then just got done doing door bars. All the harnesses are all welded in, rings on there, so it's all connect easy, and we're landing plates in, ready for C-pillars.
So it's like almost there. I really love the fact that everything's TIG welded. I mean, you can kind of see the difference. This is a MIG welded tube here on this side, which it's kind of, and then this is Tony's TIG welding, which obviously there's always everybody when you get into welding, oh well, it's too cool, it's too hot, it's too this, do that. Okay, dude, relax. The point is that this is so much cleaner than doing like a big old fat nasty MIG weld. So MIG welds are in certain areas for like landing plates to chassis. That's a good spot to use them. But if you can TIG and you can find somebody who can TIG, then that's pretty rad. It's just cleaner looking. So now we have a door bar. So this will help a little bit. It also kind of reinforces this back area where we're gonna have a lot of the weight from the suspension and stuff, and then the C-pillar as well. Kind of triangulating it, not exactly triangulating it. Cool that we're getting a backup tube now for this door bar, so it feeds straight in there. So go to the trunk, check this out. So the harnesses on the back seat on your shoulder straps, we went and got the last of the status belts, and Tony's welding in now a harness bar that's in the trunk. So not only will it help stabilize the strut towers to each other, but on top of that, the passengers will be strapped to it. We're going to be locating the battery back here and the fire suppression. So both of those will be in the trunk as well, helping offset the weight and kind of just evenly distributing it. We pulled the battery from the engine bay and we're putting it in the trunk. And then we got a hold of, and this is kind of a secret, but for those of you trying to relocate batteries who are not Beamer heads, BMW has big old fat nasty, I think it's 0 gauge wires. They go from this passenger corner up here and they go all the way along the interior of the car all the way to the trunk, because BMWs have the batteries in the back to help with balancing the car and things like that, because, you know, ultimate driving machine. Toyota didn't do that. So we're gonna do it for Toyota. We'll put the battery back here, we'll put the fire suppression back here. I think both of those, I think the battery weighs like 45-ish, 40 pounds, somewhere around
Fire
there.
suppression's like half of it.
Half of it?
Yeah.
So we're moving a good 60 to 70 pounds into the trunk, not to mention taking everything and giving it a lower center of gravity, along with the fuel cell being lower as well. So I think the last thing, once all this is done in here, will be extend the exhaust a little bit. Yeah, dude, I hope you guys are enjoying it. It's been a lot of work, a lot of effort. Tony's put in a lot of time this whole week, and we're almost there. Stay tuned, because this stuff is coming very soon to the website. I finally started doing like embroidered steering wheels. We did the Don't Hurt Me Baby wheel, which was awesome. I loved it. I thought it was really cool. Well, now we officially have the Easy Does It wheel, palm trees, and the varsity style font, black, shiny embroider on the matte leather. Perfect for daily, perfect for style black on black. And also, a lot of you guys have been bugging us about delete plates. We came in with not only the old pirate ship, but also the skull. And for those of you who really love the Death Pizza design with the Grim Reaper and the pizza slice, that's also here. Not to mention, the skull and roses now comes in a shift knob. Holdfast finally did a shift knob. We did this big old Johnny. Call that one the tall boy. Tall boys will be added to the website soon. And then we got the little shots as well, the little tiny ones. That's something more for like the rally car. I wanted to make something, but just something simple. Cylinder design, nothing crazy, nothing fancy. Cool little skull and flowers on the top there. You can see it. So now my shifter matches my delete plate. Easy does it, boys. Okay, so everything is officially done except the C-pillar bars, which will be these guys, and the windshield bar, which is gonna run somewhere across this top here to try to do the best to stop that roof from caving in on the back passengers. But the seats are in, look, everything's here. I'm freaking so stoked on this. Tony has been killing it this last week. I couldn't be happier with how this turns out. Now the car really just needs some horsepower. But it's coming together. Look, dude, we have a freaking 4-seater car. It's awesome. It's awesome to tell you guys that we're gonna do something and then it comes through. Like, there's been a lot of cars we've been talking about. The Chaser is truly coming along. Not to mention, we haven't shown this either, but we put new Motegis on the Chaser as well. Some big dog 5-spoke is the EXOs, I believe. Those are sick. They're 11s in the rear. The fronts are gonna be 10s. Huge shout out, huge shout out to the Radium boys. They've supported me for a long time, and I've always used their stuff. Their DMRs, their direct mount regulators to go straight onto fuel rails. I freaking love all their stuff, dude. Their fuel tanks, their fuel cells, their drop-in stuff. Super gangster, high quality stuff. SFI, FIA, all the ratings, made in America. All right. Is that it for this video? I think that's it. I think we're done. I think we're wrapped up on the Chaser video today. But thank you guys. Stay safe, boys. Hold fast.